Hello everyone, welcome to Valley Homes on TV. You're watching Channel 26 where we air on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6:30 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday at 9 a.m. I'm Debbie Giordano, your host for today, along with Todd Flesner.
Hey Deb, how you doing?
Hey, really good. We're traveling around the city, aren't we?
We are. We do like to get around Milpitas and showcase folks, what makes Milpitas such a great place to live.
Awesome. Would you like to introduce our guest today?
I would be delighted to. We're here at Milpitas High School, and we have the pleasure of talking with our school principal here, Ken Schlaff. So, welcome, Ken.
Yes, this is great to be here.
Yeah, nice. We're in the
Thanks for
conference
inviting
room,
me.
I think.
Yeah, we're in the conference room
Okay.
at Milpitas.
We're not in the office where you have the bad guys go.
No office for you today.
We'll see how the show turns out.
We'll see how this goes.
It's a great day. So, Ken, let's start off. I got a question for you.
Sure.
Background.
Sure.
We heard about your name and background, but how about were you born in the United States and grew up in
No, in New York.
New York?
But lived all over the country. Ohio.
Where'd you go to school?
Lived in Florida, Ohio State. Well, grew up on Long Island and went to high school on Long Island in New York. Born in New York City, Ohio State, graduate school and University of New Mexico. I lived in New Mexico for quite a long time. Been in education, Milpitas for 17 years as an administrator. Have been in other school districts around the state, Sacramento and over in Walnut Creek. But then spent some time in Santa Fe, New Mexico. And I was in education there, but I was also a city planner just north of Albuquerque. I was a planning and zoning administrator of a town just north of Albuquerque.
We just recently hired a new planning director in our city.
Okay, that's great.
So how long then here at let's talk about the high school.
Yeah,
What's your background here?
Background here was 90, I think it was 96, 97, 98. I was the assistant principal. All right. And then I actually left for a year and was an administrator in Walnut Creek, and then back to Milpitas, where I was the associate principal for 7 years and then the principal for 5 years.
Oh, terrific.
So it's been a while at Milpitas.
Good. Well, tell folks a little bit about what it's like to be a school principal, and what is it that you enjoy about the job?
Well, I would say you wouldn't be in education if it wasn't about the kids. Right? Mm-hmm. And really, with Milpitas High, I really enjoy their optimism and their civility, and for the most part, meeting the expectations that we put forth for them. Love the teachers and how they go about, being receptive to strategically move the school in a direction that will make us successful.
So if I had to ask you one thing, what are you most proud of here at Milpitas High School?
I would say the thing that I'm most proud of is probably just the culture, and I would say how students go about meeting their expectations, how they interact with each other, how they go about attaining the standards in learning, but also about how they conduct themselves as civil people.
Lifelong skills, aren't those?
Yes, and that's really important. Milpitas High School, because I have been in a number of places, is a very balanced environment. So you're dealing with the whole person, and we seem to be doing well in developing the whole person, the whole child.
Nice.
That's what's incredibly important.
Oh, good. Well, I know, a lot of folks will like to focus on things like API scores, and I know that over the course of the years and the time you've been here, the API scores have been on the rise.
Yes, they have.
Talk a little bit about the API scores here, and how important are those for folks as they look at a school, and what are other things that folks might be asking as well, other than just a score?
Yes, and that's an important question, and there's many levels to that. Our API right now stands at 827. The state considers anything over 800 to be excellent. We have gone over the past 10 years. We have increased our scores 109 points.
Terrific! Congratulations.
Right now, we increased our scores from last year 17 points, which actually is the highest increase amongst any high school over 800 in Santa Clara County of the 40 comprehensive high schools. For those over 750, we are the second highest increase, right?
Terrific.
For all of our subgroups, we have increased 131 points, which
Terrific.
is, amongst all of the other comprehensive high schools, is the sixth highest.
Great.
So we've done quite a bit when it comes to increasing the API.
Yeah, have there been strategies that you've taken or things that you can attribute to what you've seen in terms of the scores increasing?
I think the underlying thing, and that goes back to what we were just talking about before, is you have to really establish a culture of learning, and you have to have also, again, a culture of civility and how people treat each other, right? Because we have these basic things in place, right? Teachers are able to teach. That is what is incredibly important. So we have kids that are receptive to, again, being in an environment where they can thrive, and then teachers being able to teach the standards that are required in order to, be tested on those and achieve it.
That's an important, I've raised 4 teenagers, 4 children, and so I think being open-minded and that receptiveness that you talk about is so key in that learning experience and raising the bar for your school. General, let's switch gears real quick.
Okay.
I pulled this out of the San Jose Mercury. Milpitas High School to get college facility, and it was one of our questions that we were going to talk about too.
Right.
So let's go ahead and talk about what do you got going on here that's college related?
Well, what we had started discussions about approximately, maybe 3 years ago. We had discussions with Evergreen Community College District about bringing a program on to Milpitas High School and actually building a facility here, because a partial tax was passed, I don't know, I think it was 2004. And actually, it was $10 million that was going to be committed from Evergreen Community College to, Milpitas, because the northern part of the district is really not served. So we've been in dialogue for a number of years. We have begun a pilot program, which we started last year. We actually offer community college courses. We have 4 that are offered on campus, where Evergreen professors are here, or instructors are here, and they offer those courses. Right now, in fact, as I speak, in another, 1 hour, we will go over, and there will be a signing off, right, with Evergreen Community College for the commitment of that particular structure, and what that facility. And
the building of the facility.
That's correct.
Where is it going? You seem to be short. You've got a lot of students in here, a little bit of land.
That's correct.
I was kind of surprised, and I thought, where are they going to put this thing?
And that really is something that we will do a walk around. We had an original space, but there are other options on the thing. I can't commit now. I know I have an idea in my head which I think would be an appropriate place, but we're going to do a walk around again. We had started one 3 years ago. Now that's going to occur again, and we're going to have other players that are going to be doing this walk around, and we're going to look at all the things that are going to come together that would be the most appropriate.
But you've got the green light to go forward now, so you're going to go.
Oh,
Yes.
good. Now, that's just fantastic. I know there are AP classes and other sorts of programs where kids can get college credits as well while they're here. What other special programs do you have here at Milpitas High that are helping prepare our students for a successful life?
Well, we have a full range of curricular offerings. What's really important is that the majority of the courses that we have, the vast majority, are qualified by the University of California and CSU, California State, that they're validated to meet their admission requirements. So if a student goes and they take a six-period load, all right, the chances are that all of those courses, the vast majority, will be validated by California State University as well as UC. So therefore, a student that takes that load, right, is already going to be in a position that they're going to be ready or have readiness for college because of the requirements and the objectives that are given for those particular courses.
Let me ask, how, especially being located here in Silicon Valley, how about technological advantages? What do you have here?
Yeah, right here we have 3 academies. So those are schools within a school. So those are
You have a robotics, don't you?
Yeah, we have a robotics. That is actually a club and a program that is a voluntary program, and it's a sanctioned club that's on campus. But curricular-wise, we actually have an engineering academy. And the engineering academy is one of the academies that is sponsored by the state of California, which is a partnership academy. And obviously by the name is, they have a curricular focus, right, that hones in on engineering. We also have full gamut of architectural design courses. We have many courses that deal with video production as well as art production design. So there's a number of things that we have embedded within our curriculum that are technologically
Would those
oriented.
be vocational related type of things?
You know,
Or do you
today it kind of crosses both fields. In other words, you might say that it's vocational in somewhat, but for a true vocational, as it's defined, we have numbers of kids that go to off-campus for 3 periods in the day, and they go to CCOC, which is Metro Ed, Southern
We had
Poly's
that when
Civil
we were in high school, like
Mhm.
30 years ago. Does they still offer those programs?
Yes, they do, and we have a number of students that are in that for 3
I'll be-
periods
I'll
for
be
part of it. So
Okay.
we're doing those kinds of
Okay.
things as well. They have those offerings.
Terrific. Well, I know my kids, 2 of them have gone through Milpitas High here, and did a great job of preparing them for going to college. But also the tract is also there then for those who are looking for vocational opportunities.
Yes, there are offerings that are provided for them.
Great. So, as we look around town, we've been seeing a little bit of building going on, particularly in the Main Street corridor. How has that impacted things like enrollment here at Milpitas High and your projections for the future and your capacity to be able to handle additional students?
Right, and that's been discussion.
Probably your biggest
that we've
challenge.
had. Yeah, facilities. It's really about facilities, especially as we move into something called Common Core standards, which will happen in another two years. There'll be no longer STAR testing, CST testing, the Common Core, and the kinds of things and instruction that students will have to engage in will require different kinds of facilities. So yes, that is of great impact. We try to use every available space that we have at Milpitas High School, because we do. We also attempt to bring in outside resources, such as CCOC, the university program, online courses, all right, and having opportunities possibly for students taking courses that they might take during the summer at a college, all right, and that provide them with background in certain things that are requirements for a year. So we have ways of working things in, but to be honest with you, we're really getting towards our maximum. And we certainly are going to be looking at what that's going to mean in the future, so that all kids are, being able to be given the best environment for our courses and the students that have to be in those courses.
Okay, parents that are watching the program, or parents, what can they do to help out? What do you see in terms of parent participation here at the high school?
What I see is it's really about communication. It's really important that you know what your child is doing in school. So it starts with conversations about what you did during the day. It's important that you be in touch with teacher, and there's many ways of doing that today technologically. It's important that you come to events, that there are applicable things that when you see something that comes out through a communication, that you make sure that you make yourself available for those
And
things.
the child feels, or the student feels, they're supported by the parents.
And we will make it, open door here. It's really important that feel welcome.
You
We're
wanna-
we're happy to address things.
Last question?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Well, things like School Loop as well. Milpitas High is on School Loop?
Sure. We have
Okay.
School Loop, and the vast majorities, in fact, we just did a survey recently, and the vast majorities of teachers do use School Loop. You may have some that, we still need to move towards that ends, but we did a survey, and the vast majority of people do use School Loop, and of course, that's a great communication.
Well, I have a junior high right now across the street, and they use School Loop there, and it's been a great tool for us, to be able to keep up to speed with what the assignments are, how is he doing, and so it's been a great tool as a parent to
Yes.
kind of keep tabs on things.
Absolutely.
I think I'm glad my parents didn't have that when I was in school.
Yeah, a little bit too much information. Huh?
Exactly.
Do you wanna, can I ask, we're probably running out of time, but
Yeah.
future goals, plans.
For
What do you see?
Milpitas High School, well, it really is about, in other words, the Common Core and actually meeting the work. In other words, how are we going to translate this education into having the applicable skills for the workplace that's out in this valley and in the Bay Area and maybe in California and the rest of the country. And really what we're looking towards is more project-based kinds of learning experiences. We're looking really at how do we mesh make interdisciplinary kinds of experiences for the students. We're also looking at what does a teacher have to bring to a classroom so that students are able to critically think, analyze, right, evaluate, synthesize information, because that's really about what goes on out in the real world. So that's what we're really moving towards. We've got a number of pilot programs that we're working on right now, and we have teachers all over the school that are actually initiating a number of the kinds of things and the learning experiences that I just mentioned that meet the 21st century.
Wow.
It's a meshing of technology and the learning stimulus.
Well, I'm certainly proud of the high school that we have here, and it really
Absolutely.
is a gem in Milpitas. And
Well,
a tractor for those that do want to come
absolutely.
and live in Milpitas.
Well, that's really a tribute to the type of work that you do, Ken, along with the staff here. I mean, it's a team effort. I know all the teachers here, really put in a lot of energy and time and commitment to making sure the kids are successful.
Well said.
So, thank you very much, and we appreciate you spending
you.
some time with us. And I think we may even have a little
Yes.
gift for you here before
Oh,
we
yes.
before we
This
leave.
is your,
thank you.
your Valley Homes on TV
Okay.
T-shirt, polo
Great.
I don't know if you're a golfer,
Here
but
it is.
it works out there. So.
Live on the golf course.
I live on the golf course.
But good, but
Ken, thank you for spending some time with us and sharing with the folks about the beautiful work here.
Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to present Milpitas High School in its best light.
terrific. And I'm sure that folks can go on the web too and look at the website there and find out more about Milpitas High if they like to.
And Ellen-
Facebook and Twitter.
Nice.
Okay.
Ellen can put that up. And thank you.
All right, terrific, thanks.
Great, thank you very much.
Through the years, trends and styles may come and go, but the important things remain the same. Generation after generation, consistently there, creating moments and memories to last a lifetime. Like a true friend, the national parks have always been there for you, and now you can be there for them. Support the National Park Foundation and help protect America's treasured places.
Welcome back, everyone. You're watching Valley Homes on TV. You're watching Channel 26, where you can see us on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6:30 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday at 9 a.m. Todd, that was awesome.
The segment that we just had?
With
Yeah,
the Boy Scouts.
it was. They do great work here in town and across the
I
world.
always admire people that you can tell he's such a giver and, does things from his heart. for
Well,
the
I've known
community.
Patrick for years, and he's a guy who doesn't seek the limelight, who doesn't look for, attention or pats on the back. He just does it because he cares, and and gives to the kids who are involved in the program. So
That's neat.
Yeah, So it's good to hear about
Yeah.
the activity they're up to.
Yeah, thank you. Well, we've had, oh my goodness, I can't even begin to tell you the exciting news in the real estate market. We were just talking, anybody that had a property that was underwater, that a short sale, or a property that was depressed, or they bought it back in '05 or '06 or '07 at the peak of the market. And anybody that hung on to those are going to be fine, because we have just rallied up with a surge in the market. It's been unbelievable.
Well, I think you've got the numbers to demonstrate that.
I do. Let me tell you real briefly where we're at. Single-family homes today, 571,753 for an average price. I'm sorry, that was last year. That was in August of 2011. This year, August 2012, we're at $715,423. Can you believe that for an average price?
Incredible. That's quite an increase.
Median price a year ago was $550,000, and it's now at $605,000. So we're really, I talked about at the beginning of the year, I thought we had about a $50,000 bump. So at least that, if not more. I just had a property I was sharing with you last weekend, had two-day open house, over 110 folks looking through the home, 5 offers, and it went for $43,000 over the list price.
Well, and that seems to be the case for just about any property that comes on the market that's in decent shape, that's priced properly. And
single-family detached. Remember, we talked about we're still building new homes here in Milpitas, but they're mainly all attached units. Let me look a peek at what the multifamily, the condo market is doing. The average price in August 2011 was $266,742. But I can tell you that's bumped up to last August 2012. We're up to $363,884. Even that's been a tremendous increase. Median price was $225,000 a year ago. Median price now is $355,000. So talk about economic recovery of the housing market.
Well, and so people are seeing the opportunity. Interest rates are low, right? And so it's relatively affordable. But also, the demand is outstripping the supply.
Now, when you're pre-qualifying your buyers and you're looking at where they're at, are you showing where it makes more sense right now, the mortgage payment versus the rent payment?
Absolutely, and particularly as we take a look at the tax incentive that's there for folks. When you take a look at the tax deduction for mortgage interest and property taxes, and what the effective rate or effective amount of their housing cost is when you take the tax advantage into it, in a lot of cases people are able to get into housing at about the same cost as what renting is for them today.
Okay.
And so it's about across the board straight in terms of cash flow sort of arrangement for them. But then,
we've talked about that in the past as being housing affordability
exactly.
index. So I'm assuming that housing affordability index is very low right now.
It is. I mean, it's one of the most affordable times that we've seen here in the Bay Area in a long time. And if you are renting, you know that there's pressure on rents to go up. They have been going up, and they continue to be on the increase.
We've seen spikes of like 10, 15% over the last few years.
We certainly have. We certainly have. And so it's a great time to look at those economics of how does that impact your particular situation? How does it help you out tax-wise? And then also, you need a place to live, and every time security,
a place to put your children in a home, in a neighborhood school, and you can educate them there. And
right. And every time you make a mortgage payment, a part of that is going to building equity in that property for you as well, as opposed to going into your landlord's pocket. So
yeah, I'm sold. I've been sold on real estate for a long time. You don't have to sell me, but I totally agree. And I think folks need to hear that again. They need to hear it's okay to own a piece of the rock. It's okay to, to get involved in home ownership, and it's part of the American fabric.
Well, that's one of the things that I enjoy doing. That makes my job fun is to sit down with people and help them to explore how does that become reality, and how do those numbers really work in their situation, and is it something that's feasible for them?
So are the banks getting more stringent, less stringent? What do you see happening?
Yes and yes.
I know you're working harder. We're all working harder in our industries, but
well, the level of scrutiny that every loan goes through is pretty significant. You know, the banks, particularly with the foreclosure wave and the problems that we had here, you know, they want to make certain that they're putting people into loans that are going to be successful in those loans. And so they're doing their due diligence. You know, all the paperwork has to be in order. You know, the degree to which that needs to happen, though, is very significant. All the I's dotted and T's crossed, and so it's very meticulous. And so working with somebody who's experienced with that, knows how to anticipate what's going to be asked from the underwriters and to help you through that process and understand it is important. But you being organized and being able to quickly be able to respond and get back in the documentation is critical as well.
What's a typical timeline right now for processing a loan?
You know, it really depends upon the lender. I have sources I can go to and I get through in 3 weeks on a purchase, but sometimes it's as many as 45 days, okay. Dependent upon how backed up that lender is. And so the real answer is it depends, anywhere from 21 to 45 days.
Another phenomenon that I'm seeing occurring in our end of the real estate is those that have been trying to sell in the past, they're jumping back in. It says if you've gotten on, homeowners who got burned the first time they put their homes on the market are taking another leap of faith. So we're having a resurgence of those homes coming on, and the move-up buyer, a family that owns that little 3-bedroom, 2-bath home and it's busting at the seams and they need something larger. They're then keeping that as a rental or they're moving that upward. And then I guess you've answered it, stringent and contingent.
Yes.
Buyer's market, contingency clauses, and that what it means to get that loan contingency, and I think you've already answered that. But real estate's been in the forefront. It's in, everybody's talking about it, the recovery's here, and really, we're looking for some interesting and times.
Well, I think real estate in this recovery is going to have to be a leading indicator, right? Yeah, and so I think California, we're always either on the front end of that as we're going up, or as we're going down as well. So we see a little bit more volatility here. Okay. But I think that we're starting to show the way that real estate is coming back, and in other parts of the country, we're starting to see that as well.
Okay, real quick, tell the folks, what are interest rates right now?
Goodness, we're about 3.5% on a 30-year fixed conforming loan, still in the high 3s on a conforming jumbo up to 625, 500, and jumbo money's available as well. You're going to be in the low 4s on that.
Nice.
And so, again, it's going to depend upon your particular situation, your credit history, the amount of equity that you have in the property, all those.
Which we're hoping the appraisals are coming up. I've not had any appraisal challenges lately.
Yeah, the appraisals
are starting to come in.
They are.
So that's encouraging for folks.
Well, and that's because the data there is now.
The data's now there.
With closed sales supporting, the escalating prices. So,
right. We're good.
But
so folks that have looked at it before should. And failed, take another second look at it.
Absolutely, and everybody's situation is unique, and so again, it's important, to do your research, but to sit down with a professional and really review your situation so you know exactly what it is you can do.
Great. Questions for folks if they want to contact you?
Yeah, sure. Shoot me an email, Todd, Todd, at sternmortgage.com, or pick up the phone, 408-921-0669. And I welcome your questions, questions about the show, real estate in general.
You can contact me at Giordano, Giordano, DJ, at AOL.com. And we're in October. Yeah. Halloween's right around the corner, and then Turkey Day. So we're toward the end of the season, Todd.
We are. Yeah, we are. But we always appreciate hearing from folks as well who tune in. If you have an idea for a show that you like to see, or someone you think we ought to be talking to who's interesting here in town, we'd love to hear those ideas and be able to bring that to you.
Yep. Well, thanks for watching, and thanks for watching Valley Homes on TV.